For the Young at Heart is sponsored by Duville Life and Wellness Community, a commitment to care, a legacy of compassion. This is Duville.
Hello, welcome to For the Young at Heart. My name is Lucille Jerome, and on today's program we're going to be taking an updated look at some of the financial fraud and abuse tactics that are being used on our senior citizens. And not too long ago, AARP did something on it, and they called it the New Predators. And my guest today is Bea Stankard. I call her the financial wizard at Elder Services of Merrimack Valley, but her official title is Financial Resources Program Manager. Thank you, Bea, for coming. And we do have so much to try to talk about. They really are out there trying to get our senior citizens. What are you learning about any of the new tactics, and what can we do about this?
Well, the thing I'm learning most is they are still using the old tricks, using the phone. They're calling people, they're threatening people. They're making people very, very frightened. Somebody called today, very upset, that they had a call that their grandson was in terrible trouble. He needed $600 immediately. And the person actually said, and we know where you live, and we will come and get it. Which is a very frightening thing to hear. Fortunately, the woman that was called was all set to say that she would wire it, which is what they asked, and wanted it immediately, which is always a tip-off. Somebody wants something immediately. But she was thought, let me take a deep breath. I'll get back to you. And she called her daughter. Come to find out, her grandson was sitting right there in the kitchen, just fine and happy on this nice summer day. So they use a scare tactic, and they also use just a random amount of numbers sometimes, what they call robocalling.
Okay.
So it's just, that one is one of the things that you can recognize very quickly. I think we've all had those, we've picked up the phone and there's nobody there.
Yes.
And we wonder, what is that? Because there's going to be a pause because they don't know if there's someone there. The other thing they're trying to find out, is that a live number? Okay. You've already answered, so they know there's a real person at that number. Then they call back later, and it can even come up, I've had them come up with my own phone number on my television screen, on the, I call caller ID. It'll come up with my own number. I'm saying, I can't call myself. Yeah. And they have some magic way of getting in there. So one of the things I suggest that you do is, one, don't answer calls if you don't recognize the number. Two, don't answer the call if it's your own number because you can't call yourself. You're just not going to do it.
Right, right.
And the third thing is, if you don't have caller ID, get it. It may cost an extra $1 or $2, but it can save you hundreds and thousands of dollars.
Hundreds and thousands of dollars?
Yes, because people have given thousands of dollars. They'll call, one of the other ones they do is they call and they say they're from the IRS. IRS does not call, but people don't think that, and they threaten, you will be arrested, you owe back taxes. People have even been known to go and use credit cards to go and wire the money, or often they'll tell you to go what they call a green dot card.
A green dot card? I had never heard of a green dot card.
It's a prepaid debit card.
Oh, wow, okay.
And they'll insist that the person go and get this green dot card, call them back at the number they give you, do it within X number of minutes, so people go rushing off to the local drugstore or grocery store, get these prepaid debit cards, give the number, and it's almost impossible then to trace it. and they already have access to that money. And people, I've had people give literally thousands of dollars on credit cards because the person on the other end of the line has threatened that the IRS will arrest you.
So B, the IRS will never call you.
No.
Who else will never call? Your bank will never call you. I've never had a call from my bank.
No. And
What
your
about
bank-
a credit card? Will your credit card ever call you?
Occasionally, your credit card will call you because they'll call and say, did you make a charge to this amount of this amount of money?
Okay.
However, they're not going to ask you for the credit card number. They're not going to ask you for that 3-digit code on the back. They're not going to ask your mother's maiden name.
Okay.
If they're legitimate, they have that.
Okay.
And what you should always do is call them back. But don't call them back with the number that they give you. Call them back with the number that's on the back of the credit card. Call them back with the number that's on the back of your debit card. Not the number that they give you, because they're going to give you a number that sounds very similar, but isn't the same place. And also remember, if you call the IRS, and this is no offense to the IRS, they're not going to answer the call immediately. But just for fun, I called back the IRS number that they had given one of their people that they hoped would give them money. And I work for Elder Services, and the person answered and said, "Hello, Mrs. Elder Services." Which, because it came up with the Elder Services
Right.
number, and they thought,
Right.
they didn't, that wasn't on their script, that Elder Services is not somebody's name.
Right.
And so don't call back with the number they give. Call back with the number you know. Your bank won't call you.
Right.
Social Security won't call you. Jury duty won't call you. People are getting frightened by somebody calling and saying, "I'm calling from the court, you missed jury duty today. We need your Social Security number and your bank account number."
Okay.
Why? Jury duty doesn't call you. They send you one of those little white
That's
notices
right.
in the
That's
mail.
Right. That's right.
But they work on the fact that you're going to be frightened and you're going to act immediately.
And you're a good doobie, so you're going to want to
Right.
comply.
And we don't have to be good doobies. Doesn't hurt. We don't have to be rude.
Right.
But I find one of the things that I like to say is, "Thank you very much for calling," and hang up. I don't engage with them.
Okay.
Because again, they want to talk to you. Don't say, "I'm going to my next door neighbor's granddaughter's birthday party," because they'll call back tomorrow and say, "How was the birthday party?" Now you think you have a new friend.
Right.
And they do prey on people who they feel need that. They're isolated. We all get isolated more and more. We don't get out as much, especially in the winter or these really hot days. We're staying
Right.
home.
Right.
And they try to play on that. It's really hot outside today, or it's really cold outside. They play on those things. They want you to talk to them. They're not my friend.
So they try to be conversational,
Exactly.
friendly, sociable.
Sociable.
Okay.
Because you know yourself, you're not going to give something to somebody who's mean to you.
Right.
You're going to
Right.
give something to somebody who's sweet and interested in you.
Right.
And I go by B. That's really a nickname. So I almost know for sure when somebody calls up and wants to speak to Beatrice,
Okay.
they don't know me.
They don't really know you. Okay. So there are little hints and clues that if we try to use common sense, maybe we can protect ourselves a little bit better, because they really are out there. They're really charming.
They are. They're very charming, but we have to step back.
Right.
And just because we know these things doesn't mean we're not going to fall for them.
I was just going to ask that. This isn't a matter of intelligence level,
No.
is it?
No. It's a matter of they want to work very quickly. Another very, very common one is somebody will call and they're calling from either Microsoft or Apple computer and telling you there's a virus on your computer. Sign on to your computer, give them your email address and a credit card, and they will clear that virus.
Okay.
That also will pop up on your computer.
Okay.
It'll pop up that there's a virus. And all you need to do is click on it, and they'll fix it for you. I've had one client who's gone through 3 computers and a lot of money, hundreds of dollars, because she keeps clicking on these.
Right, right, right,
And it doesn't happen. There is no lottery fairy.
right.
Nobody is going to call you and say you've won the lottery. The only legal lottery is the one that's run by the state. So no one's going to call you and say, you've won the lottery. The governor doesn't call.
Ah,
None of those people are going to call you.
but you might receive a call or something in the mail that you've won a sweepstake, that you've won one of these mega buck.
It's not legal.
It's not legal.
It's not legal in this state.
Okay.
There's a lot of those sweepstakes, and sometimes they're set up so that you buy things. I have a couple of clients who spend a tremendous amount of money buying stuff. And they say, well, it's giving me a better chance in this particular sweepstakes. No,
Yeah.
it's not. That's
No.
illegal.
Okay.
It doesn't give you a better chance.
So in some ways, in Massachusetts, we have some things set up for us to protect us. We still get caught.
We still
We still
do.
get caught.
We're going to get
Yeah.
caught because, again, they work so quickly.
Quickly.
And they want you to jump on it. I almost got caught not too long ago on, somebody called and said, do you want to renew the newspaper? I said, yes, I do. I had canceled it for the summer last year. And, yeah, I guess I would. And the person said to me, well, how about you give us your checking account number and we can bill you automatically? I said, yes.
Okay.
I started to walk to get my checking account, and I went, wait a minute.
Right, 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 right.
Please send me the information, and I'll be happy to send you the money. I never got any information.
Right, right.
They never sent it to me.
I'm in the habit now of saying I don't do anything by telephone. Please send me something in the mail. I've been doing that.
And they won't.
No, you never do. You never receive anything.
And,
Right.
and they prey on what we think is happening. If there's a disaster
Yes.
somewhere, there's 100 fake charities within 24 hours that will prey on the fact that we think we want to help in a tsunami or an earthquake somewhere.
That thing that happened in England is the one you told me about.
I did. I told you
Yes.
about, we just happened to talk the day
Yes.
of
Right.
that England voted to go out of the European Union there.
Right, right.
And before that day was out, they had people calling and saying, I want to fix your investments. All you need to do. Because the stock market was
Sure,
dropping that
sure,
day.
sure.
People got panicky.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to fix your investments. Please give me your numbers.
Yeah.
And people did it. And it's really sad because people lost tremendous amount of money. Just no reason. Because they got into those accounts and were able to.
So we almost have to be hyper vigilant around, for different reasons, around the times of some disaster or some catastrophe of some type, because we might then receive an influx of calls.
Exactly. Right now it's election time. Everybody's really, really interested in the election. Everybody's watching their candidate. They have a wonderful new one that they call and they say, we're setting up a town meeting. Would you like to be part of it with, and they'll name off one of the candidates. Now they have a 50-50 chance that you like that one.
Right, right, right.
If they don't, they hang up. But the 50-50 chances, you say, wow, that'd be pretty exciting. I get to talk to my candidate.
Right.
And
You feel
they-
special.
I do. They wanted me
You
to be
do.
part of a town meeting.
Yeah.
And they actually have impersonators that will impersonate that particular candidate, or they have managed, because they spend some time doing this. It's lucrative enough for them that they can spend some time patching in some information from other town meetings that have, legitimate ones that have been held. They get about halfway through it, and it's like the old-time evangelist. They say, now, would you like to donate to the campaign? Wow, he asked me, or she asked me, or they asked me to be part of this. Sure, I'll donate. Just give us your bank account. Never give out your
Never.
bank
Okay,
account number.
Okay.
Never give out your credit card number unless you initiate the transaction.
Okay.
Don't give out your Social Security number or your Medicare number, which is often your Social Security
Right.
number, because they ask for it. Wait and let, they won't ask for it. The hospital will not call and ask you
Right.
for your number.
Right.
You may have to give it when you get there,
Right.
but not over the phone.
Right.
So stop, again, take that deep breath.
Right. They also taking the deep breath, maybe counting to 10. That old rule, count to 10 before you do something. But I remember, if something sounds too good to be true, then generally speaking, it's probably
Not
not true. Okay. But again, it's so easy. Sometimes you do things that's you're not thinking because it sounds so legitimate, it's so real, it's during a catastrophe of some type, and you want to help, you want to be a good person and do something. You know?
There are websites that you can check.
Okay.
We have booklets that I can send out. I think they're going to put the number for elder services on the screen. We have a 1-800-892-0890
Okay.
number. If they call up and mention money, they'll get me
Okay.
or a couple of people that work in my department.
Right.
And we can send out booklets. We have booklets that say how to avoid financial exploitation, how to avoid scams, that simple scam that they come around and say, I'm going to fix your driveway. And they never show up again.
Right.
Or they just throw
Or the roof.
Or the roof.
Right.
One of the ones, I had a lady get caught on it, they said they fixed her chimney. And they suggested, when I talked with the police officer suggested I go up and check and see whether they really did fix the chimney. I said no. I wasn't climbing on a ladder and checking the chimney. And that's what they count on.
Right.
The scam artist counts that you're
Okay.
not going to climb up on the roof
Right.
and check the chimney. But we can send out information on how to avoid some of these things.
You brought some with you
I did.
today.
I brought some of the answers on aging, the financial exploitation. We have tools to reduce your risk for home improvement scams.
Oh my gosh, that's an important one.
That's a really important one. I've had somebody call almost weekly wanting to clean my chimney. And every time I say, I don't have a chimney, they say, of course you do. And I say, no, I don't. But they're not going to clean my chimney, they want to get the money. But these are pamphlets that have been put out by the government that are good pamphlets.
Good.
Once you get caught, don't be ashamed.
Yeah.
Call elder services, call your daughter and say, I think this happened. I gave money and I thought it was for Johnny, your son, and I made a mistake. We can't guarantee we can get you your money back, but I can help you put alerts on your credit cards,
Okay.
fraud alerts on your credit cards. I can help you report it because there are agencies that keep track of these.
Okay.
I can help you talk with the police. We have workers that can help you do that.
That's another thing, not being afraid to call the police. To say, look, this is what's happened, or I don't know if this is legitimate or not, or I gave some money to whatever, but not to be embarrassed to call.
Right, because you're not the first one who's done it.
Right.
Right. If it was nobody that had ever done
Yeah.
any of these things, I wouldn't have a job. Unfortunately, and it's unfortunate. I
Right,
have one of
I
those
know.
jobs I would
I
like
know.
to not have.
know.
It's almost
Yeah.
like I'd like to put myself out of work.
I know.
If enough people would not be embarrassed. Don't be afraid to tell your daughter, but people, be afraid to tell your son. Don't be afraid. We were told as children, the policeman's our friend. Well, he is. Or she is. They will
Right.
come out. Many of our
Right.
towns have elder officers.
Right.
That's their job, is to
Right.
talk with people who are elderly. And by the way, Elder Services looks at people 60 and older. So
Okay.
it not necessarily mean this, little old lady that's, 102.
Right.
It's,
Yeah.
what we call young elders
Right. Okay.
that this happens to. And I do have to remind you that it's not always strangers that take advantage
Okay.
of.
I'm
sorry.
we
I
do
hate-
need to get into this also, but yes, let's do. let's do this.
I hate to bring it up
I
because
know.
it's often a family member, it's often a neighbor, it's often somebody we trust that helps us. And again, don't be embarrassed to say, I'm calling Elder Services because I'm concerned. We have grandsons who will prey on the fact that, we're all if you're a grandmother,
Yeah.
you love your grandson, you
Yeah.
love your granddaughter,
Yeah.
you want to see them succeed. But when they say, I need all the time, they may be exploiting you. Are you going without what you need?
Well, there's that old thing that some people in certain age groups, you give until it hurts, unfortunately, and so you're a good person, you want to give and you want to help. It's that thing. I don't know if it's a generational thing or not, but again, being careful. And you trust family.
You do.
Trust your friends. You don't want to think something's happening. But if you start missing things in the apartment or the house, or if you're in a nursing home or an assisted living, then stop paying attention.
Or if somebody threatens you, not overtly, but they'll, I'm going to be able to come see you, Graham, if you don't give me money. I need that money to drive over you. You live 2 miles away.
Right.
But that will be a threat. I can't come to see you. I can't take you out. I don't get to go out to dinner very often. How about you and I go out to dinner and you can pay? That's an overt, not an overt threat. That's kind of an under the table threat.
Right.
That eventually.
If you want to see me, this is what you have to
Exactly.
do in order to see me.
Exactly. Or let's turn the house over to me. I'll let you live there your whole life. Worst thing
gosh.
I think I heard was somebody gave all their money to build an addition on somebody's house. And they were living way out in the country. This was somebody who came from the city. All of a sudden they're living way out in the country. There's no bus, there's no
Right.
anything, and they're
Right,
terribly
right,
unhappy.
Right.
But they've got all the money. Now, there's that exploitation? Maybe not. But
Yeah.
now they've got an in-law apartment that they can rent, and poor grandma has no place to go because she's so unhappy.
Right.
So we have to think about those things too. And I think my favorite thing is the smell test. If it smells bad,
smell
it's bad. We do it with milk. We do it with fish.
Right.
We need to do it with our friends, our family, and anybody who calls us randomly, or anybody who, even signing up for those sweepstakes and stuff when you go like to a home show or something like that, they get your name
Oh,
and they sell your name.
they sell your name.
And now they've got your name and number out there.
Okay.
So if it just doesn't feel right, we all have a pretty good gut
I
reaction
think
to things.
so. I think the older we get, it gets a little bit trickier, though. Maybe lonelier, or maybe you want to have more company or something like that. The local senior centers are great for activities, and they have other people there to help out too.
Right, you can go to the senior center.
Right.
You can go to any one of the meals sites, which usually are in a senior center.
Right.
Have lunch. You don't have to go to the expensive
That's
restaurant.
right. That's right.
You can go to the senior center, have lunch, and meet some friends.
Right.
Many of them have buses that will take you there, and you develop a network of people that you don't have to pay to be your friend.
Right.
Learn to knit, learn to,
You're never too old to learn something.
No.
You're never too old to learn something.
no. Even the universities, they're lucky. Right here, we have universities and community colleges.
right.
Many of them have courses that we can take for nothing.
That's true. They have courses. You can audit courses, the real courses, or you can take something later on. Riviere has something called RISE, UMass Lowell. I think
UMass Lowell, Middlesex does, they
Right.
all do. But
Right.
my point is, we don't need to make
be alone.
friends
Yeah.
through money.
Right.
We can make friends without having to do that.
Right.
And we don't necessarily want to always put ourselves at risk. That's probably a pretty risk-free environment. to go to the university, unless, now I have to throw that little caveat in, but unless that young person all of a sudden wants to come and live at your house. Huge red flag.
Okay.
Huge red flag.
Right.
Or why are they all of a sudden wanting to take me out to lunch? They shouldn't. That's not, it's nice, again, it's nice to have a friend, but really what 22-year-old is wanting to take me out to lunch?
Right, right.
But they work their way in sometimes that way. So again, be aware, just because you meet them at a college, I hate to say it, but online dating.
No, wait a second.
I'm sorry.
Online dating.
Online dating. Perfect way of scamming someone. There was a great article in Consumer Report about that not too long ago. People who lost hundreds of thousands of dollars because they look for company.
Right.
They've lost their spouse. They're looking for
Right.
company. They send a beautiful picture. It's that same picture that's in the picture frame that you buy. I'm sorry.
No. This is important to talk about, and I'm thinking loneliness. Loneliness. It's such a dreadful feeling when you get older and your cohort is dying off. And who are you left with? And there are churches or your synagogue. There's the senior centers. There are neighbors maybe who you've known for years. Okay, and
But you shouldn't have to pay them.
But you shouldn't have to pay them. You shouldn't have to pay them.
That's the bottom line. You shouldn't have to pay them.
Right.
And somebody who randomly asks you for money, that's a huge red flag.
Right.
That's a huge thing
Right.
that says, wait a minute, let me step back and find out.
Step back. We're going to be we're going to be ending shortly, but something did happen to me recently, and I did get an email. I've had two, actually, but one of them I knew couldn't be accurate because it was only sent to me when there was a group of 12 who had been on a pilgrimage together, and this person was suddenly lost and really dreadfully lost, and a lot of things going on, and he was in Spain and needed money immediately to wire. That's another thing, wiring.
Wire.
And it was like, I knew right away something was wrong. But again, it looks legitimate. And I can't believe we're almost through.
But can I just stress,
Sure.
if you feel any inkling that it might not
Yes.
be, give us a call
Yes.
at Elder Services,
Yes.
and we can investigate it for you
Right.
and determine whether it's real.
I'm trusting that the people who are listening and watching this program have heard that. They have the number. There's an 800 number. It is an 800 number, isn't it?
It is.
800-892-0890.
Right.
That's Elder Services of Merrimack Valley. Thank you, Bea.
Thank you.
Until the next time.
For the Young at Heart is sponsored by Duville Life and Wellness Community, a commitment to care, a legacy of compassion. This is Duville.